Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Nina who lived with her mother in a quiet village. Nina's father had passed away many years ago, leaving the two of them to look after each other. One morning, Nina eagerly told her mother that she wanted to visit her best friend, Nellie. But her mother, filled with worry, sternly said, "No, you must not go." Though Nina pretended to agree, she had other plans. As her mother prepared to leave for the day, she gave Nina strict instructions: stay home, wash the dishes, clean your clothes, and most importantly, don't step outside until I return. The moment her mother walked out the door, Nina's excitement bubbled over. Ignoring her mother's warning, she dressed up quickly and headed out to visit Nellie. The weather was perfect, and the sweet sound of birds chirping made her heart dance with joy. But as she walked, a strange feeling crept over her. Hidden deep in the bushes was a man, watching her. He had been waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Suddenly, a noise broke the silence. Nina, startled, stopped and looked around but saw nothing. Shrugging it off, she continued her journey, thinking it was probably an animal. Moments later, she heard footsteps behind her. This time, she turned and saw a man tall, frightening, and getting closer. Fear gripped her as she quickened her pace, but the man kept following, his eyes locked on her. Nina's heart raced. She broke into a run, hoping to escape, but the man chased her relentlessly. Unbeknownst to her, the man was Danyaki, the son of a wicked witch. Each month, he was tasked with kidnapping a young girl as a sacrifice to his mother. This time, Nina was the chosen prey. As she ran for her life, Danyaki cast a dark spell, and suddenly, Nina's legs froze in place. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't move. Panic surged through her as she screamed for help, but there was no one to hear her cries. Before she knew it, everything went black. When she awoke, she found herself in a cold, dimly lit hut. Her body trembled with fear as she remembered the terrifying man. Across the room, she saw the witch Danyaki, sitting silently, watching her every move with a sinister grin. "Who are you?" Nina asked, her voice shaking. "I am the great witch Danyaki," the old woman hissed, laughing wickedly. "Why are you keeping me here?" "I'm just an innocent girl," Nina cried. "Please, let me go. My mother will be worried. She's waiting for me at home." But the witch showed no mercy. "Soon, you will be my next meal," she said with a chilling laugh. Nina's heart sank. Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered to herself, "If only I had listened to my mother." She sobbed quietly, filled with regret. Just then, a thunderclap boomed outside, and rain began to pour down. Nina saw her chance and bolted towards the door, but the witch used her dark powers to block her escape. Trapped and helpless, Nina sat in the corner, longing for home as tears streamed down her face. The witch, preparing for her wicked feast, lit a fire to warm the hut. As the flames flickered, she approached Nina with a sharp, gleaming knife. Nina's heart pounded in her chest. With nowhere to run, she did the only thing she could think of. She pushed the witch into the fire. Danyaki's clothes caught flame, and the hut quickly filled with smoke and fire. Nina seized the moment and ran to the door, praying it would open. To her relief, it did. She dashed out into the rain, unsure of where she was going, but desperate to get away. For hours, she ran through the forest, soaked and shivering, not knowing where to turn. Eventually, she stumbled upon an old, abandoned hut. Exhausted, she decided to stay the night, hoping she could figure out a way home in the morning. The next day, Nina continued her journey, but the deeper she went into the forest, the more lost she became. Days passed, and she grew weak with hunger and thirst. Just when she thought all hope was lost, she came across an old man gathering wood in the forest. Terrified at first, she hesitated, but the man spoke gently. "Don't be afraid, young girl. I mean you no harm." Nina, too tired to run, explained her ordeal, how she had been kidnapped by the witch and had been lost in the forest ever since. The old man, moved by her story, offered to help. "Come with me," he said. "I will take you home." Nina's heart swelled with hope. Finally, someone was there to rescue her. The old man guided her back to her village, where her disappearance had caused an uproar. Her mother had been frantic, searching for her day and night, and the villagers were worried sick. When Nina finally arrived home, her mother ran to her and embraced her tightly, tears of joy streaming down her face. Nina, overwhelmed with emotion, apologized. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'll never disobey you again." From that day forward, Nina learned the importance of listening to her mother. The dangers she had faced taught her a lesson she would never forget. Sometimes, a mother's love and wisdom are the only things standing between you and a world full of darkness.